And
Does it do anything?
they shouldn't be in one, but they can. But the host and the guest, I think, need to be in two. Then if there's anything more than this, they need to be in two and three. I'm pretty sure. So now this should be getting the audio.
So
Let's
nothing.
check.
So nothing happens whenever you turn it on through here. When it's on, it will go live.
Right, exactly. So right now, now that we know we got through, just like wait till like a minute before, hit go live. Hit that button there. You should be good. But remember, these need to be on, or they're not going to get any audio.
So do we go live now, or?
It's 5:56. So wait like 2 minutes.
All right. Let me go check to see what's going on.
Make sure you get your thing ready to record.
Yeah, 4 minutes. Right over here.
All right, Leila, you'll sit here, and Jacinda. Awesome. Is that like your real name, or is that okay? Cool.
Pretty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very
What does
unique.
it mean? If you know.
I don't know.
Oh, okay, cool.
No.
Cool. All right.
My mom was just determined on it.
All right. So yeah, you guys have your headphones. Then you control the volume with the little knob down here. So this is for your headphones. That's for yours. And it's over there.
We put you guys on cue, and if you don't know, in the fourth segment, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Zach, there's someone that's not going to be here, but always in the recording, Jim Miller. He's the one that does the rants. He is nice, but he tries to tell something that is true, what his opinion is. And he sounds grumpy, but he is grumpy. So, however, he's trying to tell what he feels like about the world, about the tax money and stuff. So that's what we do.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you.
No problem. All right, we'll read your lives.
Yeah, let's go live. Yeah.
Oh, we're good.
All right, so we're gonna go live, Facebook and YouTube right now. So. And then you show the volume. And do you have any water? You might want water or something, Dora. Do either of you guys want water?
Oh, yeah. Can I have a water? I left my drink in my purse. I'm so sorry.
Wait, what?
Sorry.
Oh, you turned. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll go grab. So, do you want your purse then? Or
Oh, if you could just grab the whole thing,
okay.
yeah, that'd be
Is it
fine.
is in the room?
Yeah.
Okay. Live.
We are. Okay, so I don't see this playing. Should I hit play so I can see it?
Yeah.
Is it mic 7 for her?
I think so.
Okay, you have headsets. Okay. So while we have commercial breaks, because we're Facebook, we're never off camera exactly. We're off mic. So whatever we talk about in breaks is still going out. Okay, we're on about a minute. Exactly a minute. Okay. So overall, real quick thing about doing radio. High energy intensity because it's only voice that's going out, so your voice carries everything, all the emotion, all the everything. If you could come over here a little bit, make sure you're not being blocked on camera. If you see me do this, means wrap it up, 10, 15 seconds, get it back to me. If you hear music, I got 30 seconds to commercial, so I got to get it back. Otherwise, time cues, if you see me do a finger or two, I'm giving you like a time budget, like finish in a minute. This means 30 seconds. So if I'm just trying to run things from here on that, and then at the first commercial break, I'll go over time cues for your monologue. But we have time for that. But otherwise, just we're having a conversation. We're having fun.
Okay.
You know, talk radio is very voyeuristic, like listening in.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, here we go. Welcome to the Peak News. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. You're listening to AM 1460 and FM 101.1. The Answer. Happy Monday to you. I hope you had a great weekend. And thanks for joining us back here on the Peak. If you listen, you can probably tell I'm a little huskier. I'm a little sexier than normal. I had a cold over the weekend, but recovering. Very dangerous for people in radio to get that. But thankfully it cleared up well on that. And happy to have you here on Business and Culture Monday as we say the quiet stuff out loud every day that we're on. And we hope that you do too. That's really overall why we do what we do. And I'm the one who founded this, but this is really the ethos of what we do here at the Peak. Is it's about talking. It's about discussing. It's about sharing ideas. It's about saying the things that people aren't willing to say. You know, we've been told to sit down, shut up, and accept what's going on. And I don't think any of us like that. And so we, you know, as Americans, as Coloradans, especially those in Colorado Springs, we should be able to talk about things. And so I hope that when you hear these things, you don't just go, yes, that needed to be said, but then you go and say it yourself. You're willing to talk to people in your family, at work, you know, at church, that you're willing to actually talk, because that is how human beings are supposed to interact with each other. And it's really sad where we are. If you think the media is here to bring you truth, well, I think we've all come to realize that's not going on. But what we need to be able to bring you is information, put it in context, and have you decide what is true in that situation, you know, because it's news, it's information. What does it mean? Well, that's even more important. What does it mean to you? And so here at the Peak, we're always hyper local. We're always focused in on what's going on in the Springs, maybe Colorado to a point. If we leave here, we go to Washington, D.C., or even out of the country to talk about international issues. It's always about what does it mean for us here, because that's the heart of local radio. And while so many radio stations all over the country are going to just national programming, we here at Salem and here at the Peak want to make sure that we're always talking about our neighborhood, because this is where we can make a difference. And those who make a difference here in our community are certainly our business leaders, and those who sponsor the Peak are the best ones. And so we want you to make sure to listen to the commercials and go patronize them. And more than anything else, if you need a dentist, and I think, you know, we've all been told everybody needs a dentist at least every few years, you know, that 6 months thing, maybe not, you know, I mean, you know, that's what they say, but you need a dentist every so often. Go to Springs Dentist, Dr. Craig Summer, Holistic Dentistry in Colorado Springs. Here, especially if you're into natural health, there are family dentists and great friends that have sponsored the program from the beginning. So not only do you get great dentistry, but you can thank them for bringing the Peak to you. And also, if you didn't know, well, you should, because it should arrive in the mail. Maybe today it will. If you live in municipal Colorado Springs, it is city council elections. Early voting has begun. And if you live in municipal Colorado Springs, you're going to get to vote for your city council person by district. And before you do, we want you to get informed and vote your values. And so I'm involved in a project called Church Voter Guides. And we've surveyed the candidates. 15 of the 18 candidates who are running, still active, are in the guide. And they answer the questions. We publish exactly what they send us. No editing, no editorializing. You get it right from the candidates. We ask a whole bunch of different questions. So go check that out for your district before you vote. Why is it called church voter guides? Because churches generally, they don't get involved in the politics. They're scared to because of the 501c3. So because we don't endorse or oppose any candidates, it's fine for the churches. That's why it's called that. It's not for much of any other reason than that. We just wanted to get the church active. So we are here on Business and Culture Monday, and we're actually talking about the modeling industry here in Colorado. And we have as our guest today, Leila Nicolee, president of Colorado's Next Top Model, and Jacinda Montez, a model and makeup artist. Ladies, welcome to the Peak.
Thank you for having us.
Get closer to the mic, right on top.
Thank
we
you.
teach people to do radio here every day, right on top of the mic.
We got it. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
We're excited to be here.
Super excited. Super honored to be here.
Is this mic on here, Seth? I'm not hearing it, buddy. So, could there be anything more than business and culture combined here on our Business and Culture Monday than the modeling industry? We may not think that it's so important, or we might think it's vain or many things, but it's a huge industry. And by the way, you're influenced by it and you buy products because of it. But the modeling industry, along with everything else in our culture, is changing all the time. And so we're going to be talking today on the program about different parts about it and how Colorado's Next Top Model is seeking to better the industry here. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. You're listening to The Peak on Business and Culture Monday. We'll be right back after this quick break. Cool. Okay, we got 4 minutes. So, I have to review these, but just to review, so we'll be talking about Fashion Week, Ford Amphitheater lineup, and this funding to Olympic athletes. Then when we come back, changing the model, we'll call it. And you'll have about 4 minutes. So I'll give you a 3, a 2, a 1. And yeah, okay. But however you want to go through it. Yeah. But I'm going to be giving you time cues of 3, 2, 1, and 30 seconds. So you have time to put a last chapter on it. Right. Just pace yourself. You'll have to see how that timing goes. Right. If for some reason you come up short, I'll ask a follow-up. How's it going, Zach?
Good. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna
Is it? I'm a little crowded off the screen there. Is there? But can Jacinda still be in it? Can you turn it in such a way and we're all in it? Okay. Thank you. And okay, as far as the questions on question 4 on page 4. How did you come to found Colorado's Next Top Model? Why is mental health such a big issue in the modeling industry? And then possibly I'll get into some of the other issues you said. How do we want to go about asking the third point, the solution? I mean, do we want to stay? If part 2 is only mental health, then we're really going to sort of be set on discussing that throughout the whole thing, and you probably don't. So if we cover it there, is there some way we can hybrid so when we get into the solution, because we're working our way toward your solution, right, which so isn't only mental health. No,
it kind of brings it all together.
So I don't, the problem, we want to make sure that one topic doesn't dominate this.
Right, yeah, I can tie it into what we'll be talking about next to make it like smooth.
So what would be what would be an overall then question, sort of a 2B? The under other issues, what would be another sort of problem to set the context to so we can sort of have a transition into 3 and then
I would say industry knowledge, how to submit to agencies, how to go to a casting.
Okay, so how does one go about becoming a model?
Yes, that would be perfect. Which would then, yeah, you're right, it would roll right into that changing the model. Okay. And we can definitely go back and forth.
Okay, then I won't go to solution. So why don't you, it's a little bit, this model, it's not a law, so it's, it's on. So 2 will be why is mental health. 3 will just be we'll sort of shift in 3 rather than solution. Just how does one go about becoming a model? Okay. And then that will take us into Colorado's Next Top Model. Just perfect. You'll see that things move quick. So in order for us to have time at the end to actually talk about your organization, we have to make sure that we move through it, which is more of a challenge when there's 2 guests. Yeah. So just make sure your answers are quick, and if I give you wrap up or anything like that, you finish up. It's amazing if you head off on a tangent in radio. Suddenly you're like you're out of time and you don't
Right,
get to
and
the.
then I could leave a run on
Which is
something,
why
so we
I
don't want
which
that.
is why I have the website here, because sometimes there's not time to ask you. I just have to give it and go. So that's a backup. And then what do you think? We have about 30 seconds. Think about, we can discuss it at the next break, but having like in the segment 5, like a modeling workshop or something. Is there, if you can think of something different, but something tutorial or
Okay.
something there,
Yeah.
but we can talk about that at the next break. Okay, here we go. Headlines. Welcome back to the Peak News. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. You're listening to AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer, and you're here on Business and Culture Monday, and this is our headlines segment, and we'll reintroduce our guests in a moment. But first, I want to give a shout out because we have new sponsors who are coming on board, and I don't know, did the Wow Chiropractic ad get in today? I think it's supposed to start running today on here, but I want to give a shout out. Wow Family Chiropractic, specializing in family care, personal injury, spinal and knee decompression, and shock wave therapy. And there are family chiropractic. That's a theme here. I do business with the people I do business with. So we have our chiropractor and our dentist and our HVAC, and so they know about me. We like each other. I invite them to sponsor the show. This is what we do in a local community. We work with each other's businesses. And Wild Chiropractic and Dr. John Davis, when I started working with Salem Media a couple years ago, they were actually in the building. So that was really cool. It was, I could go get my chiropractic adjustment in 30 seconds. They've moved up by Shields now, but a wonderful office, and recommend go to wowfamilychiropractic.com. Well, this is Business and Culture Monday, and we have as our guest and co-host for the hour, Leila Nicolee, president of Colorado's Next Top Model, and Jacinda Montez, a model and makeup artist. And so, excuse me, as I said, I'm getting over a cold, so little husky, little out of voice today, but I will press through because I'm a professional here. Talking about Fashion Week. Now, I really learned about this last year. It got canceled, and then, which was surprising, and then it got picked up again. And CB was actually on the show talking about a project that he was doing with doing videos of the best of from the Gazette, and said that he had been tapped to promote it. So that's when I heard about it. So it happened last year. It did come together. It's happening again. So it's not news, but because we never really got to cover it, I wanted to ask you, what is sort of the fashion industry here in Colorado Springs, and what's going on leading up to Fashion Week here coming up here in 2025?
There is a whole bunch going on. There's so many new aspiring models that are wanting to get involved with different types of fashion shows. It's just been a crazy, crazy ride, and I cannot wait to see next year's Fashion Week. I was also part of that, actually, and I had a blast. There were so many talented designers, other talented models, as well as some vendors. It was overall just a great experience.
Jacinda, have you participated in that yet?
I actually have not participated in the Fashion Week. Colorado's Next Top Model is the first real runway that I have participated in.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll be talking about that. So what is the fashion industry here? Does Colorado Springs have a fashion unto itself?
Honestly, I'm actually kind of new to the area, which is why I kind of brought Colorado's Next Top Model into play, because
Okay.
personally, I saw, of course, some fashion shows here and there, but I never really saw a Colorado Springs Fashion Week. So that's kind of what went off of my vision. But overall, the shows and the things that they are building to make a fashion week for the Springs is just amazing. I can't wait to see what they
So
have.
and I'm not part of this culture at all. So I just
You should be.
complete ignorance of this. But I mean, it's like, is Western I mean, is that cliched? Does it still have something? Does it influence the fashion here, or are we more sort of American or international as far as the fashion goes?
I would say it's kind of a mix. I have seen from all the shows that I have been to as well as been in, there are Western, there's cultural shows as well. It's all together in one. So I think we're really broadening the spectrum for sure.
Yeah, and I guess what I do know about fashion here, because like unfortunately a good friend of ours passed away, and we went to the funeral, and my children were like, "How are people going to dress there? How should we do?" I was like, "It's Colorado. I have no
I hear
idea
that so
how
much.
people are going to dress at anything. You know, I don't know, a tux, a t-shirt. I have no idea. Do we find that here, that it's just so many different cultures and people coming in that, you know,
Yeah.
it's just like
I've had
there's
a
not
hard
a
time
there's
too.
not a there's not a standard here
Yeah,
for
you're
fashion.
right. You're right. I would definitely say there isn't really a standard here. I feel like surrounding states will kind of comment on like Denver Fashion Week and what they have going on. But overall, I really don't think we have like one specific platform, I guess you would say. It's kind of mixed. But I would like to change that. I would like, when you have an
Something
event,
recognizable,
right,
something.
when you have an event, you're like, oh, I know what to wear, and it's not like it's Colorado.
I guess because of the temperature changes, you also have to, layers on
That
top of
is
whatever you're wearing
true.
too.
That is true.
Okay, next up, Ford Amphitheater lineup. Now, J.W. Roth, who we had on the show about a month ago, it's really brilliant what he did. He did this last year. I don't know when he's booked these shows, but I have a feeling he stretches out the release of the name so it can continually be in the news, because it seems like every week we find out about another
Right.
concert, and there's this Ford Amphitheater lineup. But so let's see what's going on. In April. Jason is at Isbell and the 400 unit. Leon Bridges, I don't know, Black Keys. Louis C.K., the comedian, May 31st. I know that. Styx. These are some old timer things. I don't know.
I've
Styx.
heard that old time.
Beck with the Colorado Symphony. And I see Chicago, August 23rd. Have you been to the amphitheater? Have you got to take in a concert there yet?
I need to go. I had a few friends go, and they were like, just the scenery and just like overall how they built that all together really fast, and just everyone coming all together. But I definitely need to go over there and see a show, see a concert, do something.
Have you been there yet?
I have not actually, but I've only seen the videos of the concert that they have put on, and it is, I agree, it's so beautiful the way that they place. It's like spacing. Like
yeah.
I feel like when you go to a concert, it's very crowded, but out there, since it's outside, it's spacing, and I like it.
Yes, personal
So I would
space.
go.
Now, I would say on the grass area, the lawn, I guess that's what it's called in an amphitheater, is it's much smaller than it seems, and that gets crowded because it's seating room
Right.
only, so that is type. But those are the cheap seats. There, everything else, but it is awesome. And I see that Weird Al Yankovic, that's going to be. Do you even know who that is?
I do not. Should I?
No, probably not. He does parody songs, and he's been around for I don't know,
I actually
30,
like that.
40 years. So you probably heard them.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's amazing who's still touring. So that's that. Okay, let's get away from that and get on to this. Is really cool. USOPC receives $100 million philanthropic gift to support post-game athletes. The Colorado Springs-based U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee on Wednesday had announced that it has received $100 million
Wow. Congrats
for a
to
new
them.
program that will help provide Team USA athletes with financial support as they navigate their post-athletic life. So these are people after they've done training and the spotlight is off, that they'll actually, we do this with the military. And, people who have been, well, really to be Olympic athletes, probably this has been their whole life since they were a little kid.
Right.
And so transitioning them into life, maybe you can tap in to teach some modeling. Maybe you can tap into some of that $100 million there.
Maybe.
But what do you, how long have you been here?
In the Springs, I've been
Yeah.
here for about 3 years.
Okay.
So
I've been
not
here about
quite
7
new,
years.
but-
You're not so new. So,
Still learning my way around.
but this is the Olympic city, and this is it. So this is, well, speak about this as far as like job training and helping people. That's something that you do.
Yes. So for job training, things like that, overall, I coach models. I help them figure out where to go in the industry, how to start, how to go to castings, how to submit to an agency, digital, self-tapes, everything from the modeling industry. to get them prepared for that outside world.
You know, I may be onto something here because, you know, Olympic athletes, they tend to be very healthy people. They're very confident. They're used to being in front of crowds. Maybe
Right.
I'm, you know, I sort of said it jokingly, but maybe
Collaboration.
maybe you can tap into some of this because it might be very natural for Olympic athletes to get into that. They probably, if they've had any endorsement deals, they've already dealt with that with commercials.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hey, maybe gave you another business idea today.
Love it.
Okay, I'm Goldman, the Watchman. You're listening to The Peak on Business and Culture Monday. We're here talking about the modeling industry in Colorado Springs, in Colorado. When we come back, changing the model. And I need to go get my coffee because I've been trying to cough.
You're doing great.
I was wanting to jump in, but I didn't want to cut off.
No, that's what you do that.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Do that.
Okay.
Literally cut me off. Yeah, that's kind of what they want is for us to go like back and forth and things like that.
You guys are doing fantastic.
Thank you. I was gonna ask, can anybody tell me how we're doing?
Doing awesome. I
Good.
would suggest if you could speak a little closer to the mic.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can like move it up so like it's nice and you can just
Okay.
be a couple inches. I think you're doing pretty good, but you can also lean. Well, I don't want you to lean
Yeah,
forward, so you
I
can move it
haven't
toward you.
Talked
You
too
haven't
much,
talked
so,
either.
like,
Okay. I mean,
Just like a few words.
okay. Perfect. And then besides that, though, I think we're doing good. We are live. We have two. We have two. I don't know if you can read those. Someone said they are so beautiful.
Aw, thank you.
You brought over.
Oh,
So
yeah.
cute.
I see my auntie. Shout out.
I don't know if you're able to read those, but if people comment, it shows right there.
That's
I
cute.
know I need glasses.
I know. I'm like
Well,
binoculars.
I can't even read it really. So.
That's so funny.
Okay.
You're gonna have to drink, right? Or do you want me to
Oh yeah, I'm good. Thank
We're
you
back
so
in
much.
2 minutes. So you have your bullet points
Yes,
there?
I do.
Okay. So again, I'll be giving you time cues.
And then Jacinda, I'll. kind
And
of
just,
move
you know,
this.
keep the energy up, lively. So Jacinda, you're gonna have to you should
That's okay.
just because you're here and you haven't said much
I know.
is my suggestion.
I told her to cut me off if she needs
no,
to.
but my suggestion just for it is that like either question 2 or 3. Well, I guess probably 2 if you want to. I don't know what you can talk about, but that I ask you to take the lead on one of the questions.
I think
Here.
the mental health thing, because hearing that from a model who is trying to build herself in the industry,
Yeah.
I think that would be really good for her
I
to talk
definitely
about.
have some
Because
things.
we have had our own conversations about just castings and things like that she hasn't felt like she was seen, and like just the mental
Okay.
health of feel like you're not good enough, and just making sure that you really
Okay.
take care of yourself.
So
she'd be good for that.
mostly because we're promoting Colorado's Next Top Model.
Mhm.
I'm going to give Leila, most of the space on question 1 on page 4 and that's the section after this,
Okay.
of as far as the background. But then I want to, quickly get your background just real short and then ask you this question about mental health and the pressures of being
Okay.
in the modeling industry. And then I'll come back to you for the next for how do you become a model.
Mhm.
And then on the final one with the promotion, sort of go back and forth your experience, her vision, your experience working with them.
Mhm.
Okay.
And that's the next one.
Welcome back to the Peak News. I'm Goldman, the Watchman. Happy to have you joining us here where we say the quiet stuff out loud. No, we don't lie to you here. You can get plenty of that elsewhere. You don't need us to join the scene for more lies. We're here to talk about real things and deal with real issues and become a better community, local community because of it. And I want to do another shout out to another one of our new sponsors, Mayweather Boxing and Fitness, a high energy and fun group workout experience that will increase your fitness level while building your strength and confidence. This is a boxing workout. This is really cool. And I'm going to start doing this soon because that's part of them being sponsors. Is I said, okay, I'm gonna come and I'm gonna work out. And we're gonna track that. And this is my way of being accountable because I need to do that. So they're at Prominent Point off Powers. So check it out, Mayweather Boxing and Fitness. So we have here, we're on Business and Culture Monday, Leila Nicolee, president of Colorado's Next Top Model, and she's going to be talking about in this segment changing the model. Leila.
Hi, thank you guys for having me again. It's so fun to be here. I love the invite. So first and foremost, a lot of people in the modeling industry do not know where to start. They have a vision for themselves. They think, oh, I want to do runway and stick with that. There are a lot more things than just runway. There's print, there's commercial, there is TV and things like that. So finding your niche, I think, is really, really important when you're starting out because then you know what you're good at, your basis, how to run off of that. And something that I think kind of brings in that is diversity within the modeling industry, kind of making sure that everyone feels like they belong. They all together want to have the fair compensation. They want to have fair treatment, and that also does not always happening in the industry. Sometimes you might get booked for a job, and then that client might fall back, and you've traveled so far, and things like that happen. As well as some agencies take too much out of your contracts. Some people do not understand how much they should be taking out of your bookings, and that they shouldn't be paying for that training. They should be booked through there. Another thing I think is body image, especially, and mental health. Just understanding that you are you and you are representing yourself when you walk into seeing these other agents, and just holding yourself true to yourself, not letting anyone, even if you're not fit for that specific job, not letting anyone steal your sparkle or dim your light, or anything like that. And then just the rise of independent and digital models, how to build your social media profile. A lot of agencies nowadays want to see your Instagram as a portfolio to see who is Leila, who is Jacinda, who is this model that we might want to sign. So making sure that you have a proper platform to advocate for yourself is also extremely, extremely important within that realm. Overall, advocating for yourself, as I said before, making sure that you are staying true to yourself, and finding those people that really support what you are doing and have a good view for you, not someone that's leading you down the wrong road. Altogether, just having your vision set. But yeah, I think in the modeling industry, there's a lot of things that we don't talk about. There's a lot of things that models might want to keep to themselves, but that is what I'm here for. I want to talk about that. I want to get in depth about how to change a model, how to get into that industry, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about that.
Well, we will be doing that in the next segment, but in here, what are some of the top issues that you think need to be addressed within the modeling industry?
I think the diversity and inclusivity for sure. I feel like the modeling industry, especially for me personally, I'm very small, and I'm not exactly your ideal model that you would see in like Victoria's Secret and things like that. And that's what I want to change is just wrapping that up and making sure that everyone is seen for who they are.
Well, what else?
I would say mental health for sure. Getting into the modeling industry, I had a lot of no's. I had a lot of doors shut in my face. I had a lot of trial and errors, but that is okay. That happens throughout the whole entire thing. And it's important to have a good mentor as well to guide you through and help you find your niche, help you find yourself, because that's a big thing for sure.
You're listening to The Peak. We're talking about the modeling industry here in Colorado. We have Leila Nicolee, president of Colorado's Next Top Model, and Jacinda Montez, model and makeup artist. When we come back, we're going to be talking about those issues and how Colorado's top model is seeking. Oh, I always want to say America's top model because
it's okay. We get that so much.
Yeah, well, because you stole the name.
Yeah, well, kinda. I trademarked it.
was trying to get you to do the mental health thing because you needed to say it so we could bring it in.
Yeah.
In the next, that's what I kept asking for. So thankfully,
Okay, gotcha.
Thankfully, you finally got it.
Yeah, I was at your first sign. I was like, okay, he wants this, but then I wasn't sure if I was talking too much about it, so I went on. But I got that second cue that you were like, keep going with it. So I'm like, all right, perfect.
Okay, cool. So this is just a 2-minute break, so it's real quick.
Okay.
We doing okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So,
you good?
So I'll come back. Yeah, and again, each of these you'll have a couple of minutes on each one. So, how did you come to found Colorado's Next Top Model? Then you'll answer that. Then I'll ask Jacinda about your modeling background, and so you can, just getting into it and this thing, kind of thing. And then, we mentioned before. Leila mentioned before the mental health issues and why is that such a big issue, and so you can get into your perspective on that. Then we'll transition back of how does one go about becoming a model. You were getting close to it. You were talking about the issues, but now becoming more practical about the things that you need to be, so it's related but it's not redundant to what we did before. And then so we're on page 4, segment 4.
Okay.
Tell us about Colorado's Next Top Model. You discuss all that. Come back to Jacinda to talk about your experience with it. We'll see how much time we have left there. Okay. Do you have any specific call to action or like an event coming up or anything to specifically promote?
We have just started preseason 3, so we have challenges for the models that we're doing.
Okay. Season 3, you said? Okay.
We have just started preseason 3.
Welcome back to the Peak News. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. You're listening to AM 1460 and FM 101.1. The Answer. It's Business and Culture Monday, and we couldn't combine those two. We have here on the Peak. I've themed out the 4 days that we're on Monday through Thursday to force us to cover everything. Because it's so easy for talk radio to become political or to become business oriented. And I wanted to make sure we were forced to cover everything with our guests, with our topics. So business and culture on Mondays, politics and government on Tuesdays, faith and family on Wednesdays, education and media are on Thursdays. And when we can combine the two of that theme, it's really great. And certainly the modeling industry does that. It's culture and it's big business. And we have representing that today, Leila Nicolee, president of Colorado's Next Top Model, and Jacinda Montez, model and makeup artist, and someone who's being, I guess, mentored. Do you consider it a mentorship? Within America's Colorado.
Yeah,
I keep wanting to say America's because that's been programmed into my head.
It's a compliment.
Okay, but it's like
Yeah,
mentoring.
It is a mentorship from top to bottom. We bring the models in, we train them top to bottom within agency submissions, and then just runway and posing and things like that to get them ready for the competition.
Okay, well, let's start with Leila Nicolee. Give us your background in the modeling industry and how did you come to be the founder of Colorado's Next Top Model?
Well, I have been in the modeling industry for about 7 years now. Started out with literally, like I said, Instagram. I mentioned that a minute ago. Started out with an Instagram post. I had some photographer friends who just wanted somebody in front of the camera to kind of practice. And that specific photo went viral on Instagram. And I had a few agencies kind of reach out. I actually had a mentor at that time to kind of guide me through, show me the red flags, what to look for. And then I just kind of started my modeling career from there. I had a lot of experience doing international work. So I've worked with Victoria's Secret. I've worked with Playboy. I have worked with some shopping brands that I know a lot of girls would know, Fashion Nova. And then from there, I wanted to kind of bring my guidance to others through my model coaching that I also do in Colorado's Next Top Model, to kind of get everyone ready for the industry and put in those key items that I feel like I missed when I was first starting out in the industry. Personally, I didn't have a whole lot of knowledge. So again, I just want to be able to spread that around and help other models grow and find their spark.
Okay, well, Jacinda Montez, a model and makeup artist and newly working with Colorado's Next Top Model. What's your background?
My background, well, I grew up pretty like Pentecostal in church. So I wasn't allowed the fashion. I wasn't allowed the makeup. I wasn't allowed to, do your hair different colors and stuff like that. So I kind of grew up sheltered from that until about maybe 6th grade. And then I started doing photo shoots because I had so much fun doing the photo shoots, doing the art. My grandma, Rip, passed away. She was actually an amazing painter, so that's kind of where I got my art from. And then I like to include with the fashion. I love to match. I don't know if you could tell today, the green and the green.
Beautiful.
But so yeah, I wasn't really allowed until I grew up, and then I started just doing photo shoots for maybe the past 10 years, just for fun. And then I had seen the opportunity of the auditions for Colorado's Next Top Model, so I was like, ooh, just let me do it for fun because I know I want to be in the fashion industry because I am currently a makeup artist. And like I said, I do the photo shoots, but it's just putting it all together, and that's my
Okay.
yeah.
So one of the topics that was brought up earlier was mental health within the modeling industry and the pressures of it. I just know because you're on conservative talk radio, and even when we thought about doing this show, it's like most conservatives probably think about the modeling industry tends to be very liberal, very very things that don't really represent conservative values overall, and that the people are sort of crazy and they're out there and they're alternative. So that's where their mental health issues are going on. So I just want to, we say the quiet stuff out loud here,
Right.
so I'm not gonna play nice with it. That's what. But how do you deal with this within the industry? Because at the end of the day, we're all people and we're part of the community, and we need to be concerned about each other. How would you respond to people? First of all, just on that issue of the pressures, Jacinda, of being in it, and then Leila, I want you to talk about what I just challenged about. Do you bring this on yourself, kind of thing? But Jacinda,
Right.
what are the pressures that you've experienced within the industry?
Within the industry, definitely my height is a huge one because I am only 4'11", and that is my grown height. So it's kind of what I have to deal with. So like the modeling industry has more taller, petite women, and I am not that. I am a little bit busted in both areas. I just, in going to the conservative, fashion and modeling is art. That's what it is. Like, people would think, oh, like Victoria's Secret. That's not all that it is. So it's very fun to just bring that out and, recognize that it is more than just that. And it is more than just your body, because everybody is beautiful, for sure.
And so what are the stresses that you've encountered?
The stresses, my height. I would say I struggle a lot with, I guess, cookie cutter, as we had maybe mentioned. It's not really what I guess an industry looks for. So I have a little bit trouble, I guess, fitting in the cookie cutting.
So I'm really surprised at that, because it's been at least a decade of pushing for
Right.
everything goes, but you're saying that might be a little bit more marketing than the reality of when they're still looking for the typical.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there are some agencies who will literally just sign anyone. And those are the ones that you need to work out for.
Okay, so that's interesting, because the public relations in the modeling industry and the covers and stuff have been, have been large size model, and all this stuff, but it's still okay. That's that's interesting to hear. Now I want you, Leila, to comment on what I just said about, the negative side and that a lot of people think about the industry, that you're, this group of very liberal people, and you're bringing, any stresses you're bringing on yourself. Come back and get a real job.
Right. So I think a lot of stressors, especially some that actually might be the model's own fault, believe it or not, would be just commitment. Modeling is a big commitment. When you book a job, you are required to be there on time. You're required to bring everything with you. You are required, they'll sometimes send you a whole list of, things that you're supposed to do for that. And I feel like I have seen, at least in Colorado, personally, with other models that I have been involved with in like shows and things like that, there are a lot of people who will book a job and then not show up and then be be upset about that like backlash, and then they're not booking jobs, and then they feel like they're, not good enough. So I feel like definitely holding yourself accountable and staying true to that, and then being reputable as well. Being able to back up your other posts, your jobs, say your agencies, having something as well to advocate for why you are good for the job, as well as just showing up for it. So involving the mental health that Jacinda has mentioned, I also feel as though sometimes for those who have mental health issues, they might get into something that is too much for them. And that is a very real thing. Sometimes you get into something and you're like, oh my gosh, like I can't do this. But that also has a big deal on your reputation. So you always want to be very mindful and very careful moving forward with things like that.
We tend to have an impression that the industry is very gay. We're transgender and everything. Is that true, or are we just seeing that as sort of
I would say that's kind of recent. I would say they are runway shows and big companies and things like that. They're definitely trying to include more, which I 100% support. But that definitely was not the start of it. For instance, on America's Next Top Model, they didn't even have any males. I don't think they ever did any male seasons, let alone letting people in with different sexualities. Until maybe like the 10th season. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But so this is definitely a new thing. But I do see it everywhere. I do see it a lot. I do see things like that. But I support it. I 100% support it. I think everyone should be included.
Okay, let's finish up telling us about Colorado's Next Top Model. What do you do? How do you help models in the industry?
So Colorado's Next Top Model is a reality TV show competition. We are currently on preseason 3, and overall what we do is as I talked about earlier, we take models in and we coach them from start to finish. We teach them posing, we teach them runway, self-tapes, how to submit, as well as how to look in front of a camera, TV and film for when you're doing interviews. Overall, we're giving them industry professional training and experience in order to pursue those dreams that they wish to pursue later on in the industry.
Okay, and what programs and events and do you put on, and what's coming up with you?
So we've got a bunch of challenges coming up. The models will be putting together outfits. They will be learning how to pose. They will be also doing some runways before our grand finale. That'll be in April. Don't have an exact date for that one just yet. But overall, they are just really working very, very hard, getting into the community and supporting other designers and makeup artists as well within their craft.
And do you charge for these services?
Actually, no. So in the competition, I coach all of them for free. I have a model coordinator as well who also has 15 years in the modeling industry as well as coaching. So we want to make sure that it is not a struggle for models to find the coaching. As when I started, I paid way too much for coaching. So we want to make sure we have that in there.
Okay, and people can get in touch with you. You have an Instagram?
Yes, we are at Colorado's Next Top Model. And then the coaching page for our platform is the Icon Empire.
Okay. You're here on The Peak on Business and Culture Monday. We're talking about the local modeling industry with Leila Nicolee, president of Colorado's Next Top Model, and Jacinda Montez. When we come back, we're going to be putting on a little modeling workshop. How do you break into the industry? We'll be right back. Cool. Thanks. You handled that well.
Okay, I was going to ask you, was that a little bit better?
Yeah. No, it was good. I threw you some tough stuff.
Yeah. No,
okay.
I get that often, though. I feel like I have these tough conversations in person, so it's not.
Right. So that's good. We want to do it. Yes.
Any of you guys doing away?
Oh, yeah, we're doing great. Thank you.
So
I love this.
What's the timing? What do we have for?
The gym wear?
Yeah.
What happened to Colorado?
What happened to Colorado? Okay. And what's the timing?
It's going to be 2 minutes and 42 seconds.
Okay. 2:42. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. And also,
Anything else? Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
So this is 4:48.
How you feeling? You're doing great.
The best that I
Okay.
can feel.
Okay, so sorry we ran short to come back to you.
No, that's
so
okay.
try to work in here. We'll have about 4 minutes or
I'll
so.
keep my answers a little
So
bit short.
the modeling workshop, like get to the point, and then come back if you want to, say something. Well, in my experience.
Yeah, that would be perfect. I
something
can kind
like
of
that.
talk about what about like the model workshop and things like that.
Right.
And then yeah, that would be perfect.
But yeah, but just, you know, how do we, I'm going to specifically like, what are the steps? If someone wants to become a model, what are the steps for, you know, being prepared to enter the industry?
Okay,
Let's do
yeah.
that, because that's then a baby steps and an entry level thing for people that are thinking about it.
Hmm.
And Jacinda, you can comment to that, and then we'll finish up back with you.
Okay.
And I have to throw to a pre-recorded segment, so
Okay, yeah, fine.
I need to make sure that we're out by when I give the hard wrap up to do that.
Okay,
Cool. And then I'll thank you and we'll be done.
awesome, perfect. I need to like be on radios more often. I was nervous at first, but it's just public speaking. That's why.
Yeah, it is, but there's something.
But you're not really public though.
But there's
'Cause, like,
something. Well, but there's
it
something about
is.
a mic and
Yeah, I think
not
that's
knowing who you're talking
that's
to.
what I was telling her yesterday. I was like, I think the nerves are just the nerves of not knowing. Is
Yeah,
'cause
that's the thing. It's
I
just a
can
blank.
see
It's like
you.
who is there?
but we're
don't know.
talking to everyone else.
Right.
So,
So no, it's weird. But every medium has its own
mhm.
thing. But
I like the
great
way
thing
this is going though. I like
Okay, cool.
the questions. I like the flow of it.
Excellent.
And I like that it's not like, oh, I don't want to say this in case like I like what was it?
Say the quiet stuff.
Yes,
No,
yes.
that's
Yeah,
I
like
love
saying.
that. I love that
that's what
because
we.
that is like
Mhm.
statement.
Yeah, and so when we ever quite like, can I say that? It's like, well, it's our mandate, so say it.
Right.
Somebody's thinking it. Most
Right,
likely, a lot of people
exactly.
are thinking it.
Yeah.
So okay,
That's why I mentioned
okay.
that.
Here we're back for the final segment. Welcome back to the Peak News. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. We are talking about the modeling industry here in Colorado with Leila Nicolee, president of Colorado's Next Top Model, and Jacinda Montez, model and makeup artist. And in this final segment with these ladies, we're going to be talking about sort of breaking into the modeling industry. If you're thinking about doing it, you've been thinking about doing it, what are the first steps? What do you got to get together so you won't just be laughed at when you come in, right? Like they actually see that you somewhat know what you're doing. So overall, is it about the look, or is it about an attitude more than anything else?
Honestly, I would say a little bit of both. Your attitude can have a lot to do with whether you are going to get very far in the industry, especially. So if you walk into an agency and an agency casting and you look the part, you look great, you look exactly how, what they want. And your attitude is just nasty, you're very stuck up, you're rude to people, that completely takes away your chance just because no one really wants to work with a hard model. Nobody wants to work with somebody who's hard to get along with or causes issues or problems like that. So I would say that's definitely one of them for sure.
Yeah. So what else? What do people need to know? Like, what are the three biggest things for, starting out?
Presentation for sure, like you just mentioned, as well as having a good coaching platform. That can also have a lot to do with your casting presence. When you walk in, you want to make sure that at least you look like you know what you're doing. You have that training, as well as I would say the other thing is a portfolio. You definitely need some type of portfolio, whether it's just digitals, which we teach in Colorado's Next Top Model as well, something to present these agents or these casting agents, the agencies, something that they can keep and see how you can kind of blend into different aspects. There is streetwear, there's high fashion, there is lingerie, there's all these different types of aspects of the modeling with just pictures and print. So you want to make sure that comp card or that portfolio represents how adaptable you are in the industry.
And these days is digital fine. You don't need to have
yeah, digital is pretty good. A lot of agencies want your Instagram page. Specifically, they will ask for that link when you are submitting online. And that is for them exactly to see just your pictures, even if they aren't professional, just kind of see what you can do and what you can't do.
Okay, so get an Instagram page.
Yes.
Jacinda, what do you think it is that enabled you to break into modeling? Like, what did you do that you'd give that tip to people that are starting out?
Yeah, I definitely started out with photos. That was my number one thing. And just do it. You just have to do it. Honestly, you just have to have faith in yourself. Like she mentioned earlier, being like true to yourself and just commitment to yourself with these things is kind of like, honestly, I just was just like, let's just do it and let's just see where it takes me. And it has taken me here. So I'm very excited to see how further.
So just to have fun, just to
Yeah.
go in and
I mean, you really
follow
just have
your
to
dream.
yes, you just have to be committed and just go for it. And if it don't work out, if it's too much for your mental, as we mentioned earlier, then kind of take a step back and then maybe life will throw something else at you.
Okay, Leila, final question, because, you know, people always think about the model, but isn't it supposed to be about the clothing or the product or the
is.
thing? So in a way, isn't someone who's like just incredibly like distractingly beautiful in a way taking away from, you know, we think about the model, but they're
Yes.
actually modeling something.
I would say so. There are actually some times where they will dress models in things that like that specific model wouldn't look good in, specifically for that reason. Exactly. But yeah, I think altogether, just making sure that you are repping what you are wearing is most important. If even if you are the prettiest on that runway, making sure that you are playing with that clothing or doing something to represent what you're wearing is very, very important.
Okay. Well, you've been listening to The Peak, and we've been talking about the modeling industry here in Colorado with Leila Nicolee, president of Colorado's Next Top Model. You can check out their Instagram page, Colorado's Next Top Model, and Jacinda Montez. Ladies, thanks so much for being on The Peak.
Thank you for having us.
And now, Jim Miller in The Peak Rants. Jim's talking about what happened to Colorado. Cool. So we have this.
I was interested in what he was going to start.
Okay, well, listen. You can listen in. Listen in. Listen.
Your guys' radio voices are insane.
I know. It sounds so like good, but they've been doing this forever. Meanwhile, we're like, hey. It does. That's funny because I mentioned that to my boyfriend the other day.
Okay, I just need to do a close after the commercial and we're done.
All good.
Let me just. Yeah, the mix wasn't good. The music was too loud. I couldn't hear Jim. That's why I was. That's why I was saying that. So just listen to the at the end when the music came in. He started to get drowned out by the music.
I noticed that I was trying to level it, and it looks like it's about to get even quieter and quieter.
So his audio was like coming down, like his level. It was weird. That's never happened before. So
Me neither. I never heard that before either.
Okay. So anyway, check that out. But if you notice the mix is off, bring up.
Yeah, I cut
Obviously,
it
bring it
out,
up.
so.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You girls are doing good.
Thank you.
Oh, can we have a photo?
What?
Do we have a photo as just together before we
Yes.
start?
Okay. Well, we just need to you have a minute and a half or 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes.
2.5.
Okay. Well.
Did you want
up
that
to
now?
10:30.
Sure.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
want to.
If we have time now. If not,
we
we can
do.
wait. Okay.
Yeah, we have like 2.25.
Let me know where you want me.
Okay, let me get my phone.
If you ever want to join Colorado's Next Top Model and strut your stuff in your nice suit, let me
Yeah,
know.
thank
All
you.
ages.
Thanks a lot. Many years ago, I did one of those singles auction things.
Oh, you've actually been in one of those? What?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, how does that
a
go?
long time ago.
I haven't
That
seen
was over
those.
30 years ago.
Oh wow, I was gonna say yeah. I'm almost 30.
I made decent money, but I had to strut around and sell my stuff to try to raise the money for charity to
Oh
go
man,
out on the date.
I've always
But
wanted to go to one of
that's
those
it.
just to see what it looks
More,
like.
they say a face for radio. More I'll do this. No, I do video production. I'm used to being in front of the camera.
I was
It's
gonna
really-
say I did see.
It's really comfortable for me.
I did some research
Okay.
beforehand, and I did see
Yeah,
some
I've
stuff.
done-
So I was
I
like,
mean, I've-
okay.
Been in front of and behind the camera for a really long time. Thanks for joining us on the Peak as we start another broadcast week. Always great to have you here. And this is the really cool thing about the Peak. If you think that we can do a better job, I agree with you. You can come help us do that because this is a citizen journalist organization. In fact, we're having our first citizen journalist class. We started last week throughout March. We are training people to be citizen journalists, and we'll have a class in the future. But you can come and tell stories here. You can take part in the platform as a reporter, as a tech. You can come on. We also have an internship program for the young people. And of course, if you'd like to come on as a guest, if you think that you'd be an interesting guest, you can go on our website and check that out, thepeak.news, and sign up to be a guest. And of course, we're always looking for sponsors because that pays the bills around here because we tell local stories using just the local citizens here, and we're supported by local business. So go to thepeak.news and figure out a way to join us. We're really happy to have you as a listener. And the least you can do, and I mean that, is you can tell other people about us. Tell us when we're on. Tell us about the podcast and everything. We have over 200 shows that we've done, which is really cool. Go pick a topic you like, but share us around. Tomorrow, we have Government and Politics Day, and we're having a guest host tomorrow. Former El Paso County Commissioner Stan Vanderwerf is our guest host, and his guest will be Colby Zipperer, chairman of the El Paso County Young Republicans. And then on Wednesday, Faith and Family Wednesday, we have Christy Davis, El Paso County chapter president for Moms for Liberty. Want to remind you that before you vote in this Colorado Springs election, go to churchvoterguides.org, find out what the candidates say in their own words. Get informed and vote your values. Now, coming up next here on The Answer is the Larry Elder Show. So stick around for that. The Peak, we say the quiet stuff out loud, even with my voice a little challenged. We say the quiet stuff out loud for such a time as this. Shalom. Okay, cool.
I
That's
loved
it.
that. That was so fun.
That's the Peak.
And that is the peak.
That is the peak. I really do I love the brutal honesty. That is like what we all need.
I think so.
That's what we all need. Not all of us like it, and that's, to each your own, but freedom of speech.
How do I shut this down again?
So you're actually, the best way is to go to Riverside.
I think I thought I did.
Well, but it's down the app over here. Did you click over?
I don't.
This time, now we
But
have
I'm
Riverside.
not seeing it that it was like on Facebook.
Wait, you want to go down? So you go down to Riverside. Now we actually have the application. So when you want to click over here to stop recording,
Okay.
and then that'll shut it down because of the source of it. So it'll shut it
Okay.
down.
You want to get a photo? Yeah. For us? And so